Are you curious about bodies, pleasure, and possibilities? And what about curious about what others are up to on the planet when it comes to pleasure, sex, and play? Have you considered what pleasure can do for your life, your body, and your bank account? Do you know something magical, delightful, and out of this world orgasmic is not only possible for you, but totally available to you? If you're ready to be the magical, sexual, sexy beast you know you can be, and you just need the tools to get there, you're in the right place. Now, here's the host of The Pleasure Zone, sensual movement artist, relationship and sex alchemist, Milica Jelenic.
Well, welcome, my sweet, sweet pleasure seekers. Tonight, we're having a fun show about sexual visualizations. Now, what would that be? It sounds different, sounds interesting, sounds pornographic. Could be so many things. Well, one of the things it is going to be is tools, actually, more like meditations in a way, that are going to assist you in creating things like jobs, money, maybe even health, and different things that will be pleasure related in your life. So I know that sounds strange. Like, how can you visualize these things? Well, there is that thought that your mind can literally create your reality. So the idea behind this is that your mind is incredibly powerful and that we don't actually know everything that your mind can do. And what if your ability to either visualize or sensualize, we'll say, so some people can't see these things in a visualization, but sometimes you can have like a real feeling in your body. You can experience these things more than see them. Either way works. This is not one of those things where you have to be able to visualize in order for this to work. So in fact, it doesn't really matter if you can or can't visualize. We are going to be working with a number of different energies just to give you a sense of what things feel like, what it feels like to be bringing in some more pleasure in your life. So especially for this episode, I will remind you guys a few times, because this is visualizations that may be somewhat like meditations. I ask that you don't do this while driving, just in case you get into the groove of it and you do close your eyes and you feel mesmerized by my fabulous voice and ideas. I would really encourage you to do this while you're at home or somewhere where you're sitting and you are not operating any vehicles or cars or anything like that. So not biking around listening to this either. Okay, so a lot of you, I'm sure, if you are interested in this show, you've probably tried a few things in your life, but this might be the very, very first show that you've ever listened to on the Pleasure Zone. If it is, just know there are over 300 shows available in podcast form that you can access. And they are all on the Inspired Choices Network. You can also find a lot of them on places like iHeartRadio, Spreaker, and Spotify. You can find them. They're also live on a lot of different locations as well. So with over 50, it's live in over 50 spots, and it's also podcast in over 50 locations. It's very exciting. It's always growing, and there's always more and more on those numbers. So for those of you who are new to this show is dedicated to pleasure. That's why it's called the Pleasure Zone. So on here, we often talk about different things with sex, different things culturally going on with sex. Last week, our episode was all about a South Asian woman's pleasure perspective. We also had the week before an astrologer on talking about how the Great Conjunction may or may not affect our relationships and sex lives. So there is quite an arrangement of different things going on this show, along with shows that are dedicated to things like blowjobs. So you're going to find a wide variety of things that will tantalize and tickle your pleasure. So I'm glad to be able to offer this particular show. For those of you who love this show, and you think, oh, I would just like love, love, love to see Milica create more and more and more. Remember to follow us on Inspired Choices Network on YouTube, like us, love us, pass it on, pass this show on to all your friends. The more listeners I have, the more motivated I feel, and the more feedback I get. So the more I know if I'm creating content that you guys are all enjoying. And I love the feedback, and I love knowing when I've created content that actually works for you and does something for you. So tonight, I'm hoping that this episode will give you something to use for your whole year. It's not just for this evening, it's not just for because it's the beginning of the year. These will be some exercises that will assist you any time of the year. So we're going to start with some really, really basic ones, and we're going to work our way up into these visualizations. So first things first, I'd like you to get super comfy. So find a place where you can sit or stand or lie down and you feel super comfortable. You're going to be here for a few minutes, so make sure that you're adjusted in different ways, whether you need to put something under your knees or support your back or whatever. So get yourself all comfortable and in position that feels good. And when you're there, I'd like you to just take a few deep breaths. When I say deep, I mean feeling that breath right into your perineum. And if you don't know where your perineum is, it's, for guys, there is a name for it in the, it's kind of more of a, it's not the proper word, shall we say. It's not like the science word for it. We can call it the taint. So it taint your bum hole, taint your balls. It's that part in the middle, boys. And then ladies, it's taint your vagina and it taint your anus. So it's that space in the middle, that lovely part that often rips when you're having babies. But we're going to breathe into there. And if that sounds weird, yep, it is. But you'll get it because you're going to actually notice that when you are thinking about that area while breathing, your breath will go down there. So we're going to just begin with getting some deep breaths into the perineum. So when you breathe in, I'd like you to just notice how your belly expands. And continue breathing in for 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold. And let go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You might notice that as you are breathing in deeply, that your body, as much as your tummy is expanding, you might notice that your pelvis is contracting. You might notice your attention going down to your pelvis. So continue to breathe in. 2, 3, 4, hold, and let go. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Continue to breathe, just paying attention to your perineum. Breathing in, allowing that air to go up, up, up your body, from your perineum all the way to your genitals, all the way up to your belly button, all the way up through the center of your body to your heart, to your throat, all the way up your face, between your eyes and out your head, and allow that energy to come back down. And as it comes back down, it's gathering energy from the entire universe. And as you breathe out, that air actually goes back into your body, down, 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 all the way back down to your perineum. And on the breath in, the air comes up. On the breath out, the air goes down. Continue in that fashion where your body is breathing in and out in a circular motion, allowing you to start to really feel and sense the connection to your perineum. Your perineum is there to begin to open your very basest of your chakras, your base chakra. And this is all about your survival, and we're going to move from that right into, we're going to allow the energy to mix and merge as it circulates and moves up your body. Remembering to do your breathing in and out. And in and out. Allowing that to continue to go with your breath and allow the energy to move up. Just noticing, I want you to notice your genitals. Just notice them. How do they feel? Is there any sensation going on in them that you never noticed before? Do they have tingling? Do they have heat? Are they throbbing? Do they feel open? Do they feel closed? Do you feel aroused? Do you feel unaroused? Just notice and don't do anything about that. Just notice. Then allow the energy to move up, 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 up. As it moves through your body, I'd like you to connect that energy, that very, very energy from that area of your reproductive system. And I'd like to have you have that energy move all the way up your body, all the way through your very top of your head, and then let it come back down and sit in your brow area, your third eye. And just notice. Just notice when you visualize or sensualize, if you're sensing your third eye or if you're visualizing through your third eye, just notice what's going on in your genitals. What's going on? Now, I'd like you to ask your body and your third eye and your senses to show you and tell you what energy is required for your body to begin to feel aroused. What energy will allow your body to feel aroused? It may not be what you expect. You may find that what turns your body on is a scent, something simple. It could be a feeling. Maybe there's a feeling of being organized, or a feeling of feeling full, or having had eaten something delicious. It may not be what you expected, and it may be exactly what you expected. Now, just noticing what is turning on your body. Now, if you're feeling like nothing's turning on my body, I'm going to ask you to just visualize or sensualize, sense these things, the energy of what is turn on. What is turn on? Ask your body, what is turn on? What arouses me? What stimulates me? Body, what stimulates you? Body, what arouses you? Body, what turns you on? Ask your body. And as you ask these questions, allow your body to sit and be with these possible energies that may be coming from different places. And you may notice that an energy begins to build. It may begin to build. As your body relaxes, you might notice that the energy in your genitals begins to build. Maybe your vulva is starting to feel throbbing. Maybe your vagina is starting to have contractions a little. Maybe your cock is starting to flex. Maybe it's starting to get hard. Whatever is going on, just notice your genitals, just noticing them. And now I'd like you to take a deep breath in. And on this breath, I'd like you to contract, kind of squeezing your pelvic floor muscles, your pubococcygeal muscle, That's that muscle that when you need to go pee, you flex it to stop the pee. So just flex it and let it go. Flex it and let it go. And take a deep breath in, flexing the muscle. A deep breath out and let it go. I'm going to do this 3 more times. Breathing in, flex, breathing out, letting go. Breathing in, flex. Breathing out, letting go. And allow your body to know that with every breath in, it can contract, and with every breath out, it can let go. And through that movement and motion, your pubococcygeal muscle, your pelvic floor muscle will begin to be engaged. Having an engaged, excited, alive pelvic floor muscle is going to be key in allowing your body to be stimulated and aroused and receive pleasure in many different ways, including visualization. Please continue doing this, and we're going to head to our first commercial break. You're listening to The Pleasure Zone here on Inspired Choices Network, and we'll be right back after this commercial.
Are you secretly a voyeur, wondering what's going on in other people's sex lives? What if now is the time for a totally different sexual evolution? Are you interested in people who are pioneers of different sexual and pleasurable practices? Lean in now with Milica Jelenic, where she will entice you and your body to know your own pleasure zone. On the Pleasure Zone radio show with sensual movement artist Milica Jelenic, you'll receive tools, inspiration, and a foundation to allow yourself to receive more in your sex life, and quite possibly other areas of your life as well. Listen for the Pleasure Zone with Milica every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is The Pleasure Zone with sensual movement artist Milica Jelenic. To participate in the program today, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email, info@milicajelenic.com. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back to the Pleasure Zone, my sweet, sweet pleasure seekers. If you're just joining in right now, you might not realize that you just missed a little segment of the show, which you can go back and listen to on podcast. So the first segment, we talked about different breathing techniques, a breathing technique in particular that I walked you through so that you can have breath that has you being engaged with your pelvic floor muscle, which includes having your ability to have a sense of control over your genital arousal. So the next part, and the bonus to that part too, is for anybody who has been losing control of, like if they're having urinary issues where they're having bladder leakage or whatever, that particular breathing of the pelvic floor muscle, also known as why can't I remember that name right now, but I'll remember it. It is that that one that everybody talks about that I can't remember right now. It is the one that you're told to do when you have kids so that you don't. Yes, Kegel. Thank you, Kegel exercises. Um, so that is essentially what we're doing, but we're adding in a breathing technique and we're utilizing it for stimulating your body. So you can do it as just an exercise where it becomes kind of a very yang energy where it's just like exercising, like lift and down and lift and down. And this is adding some elements of ease and sensuality to it. So I'd like you to continue that breathing if you can during this show, remembering that with every breath in, you're going to notice that there's like a flexing going on. And then with every breath out, there's a release. So for me personally, when I do the breath in, after many years of being a Kegler, I also do a few other methods of playing around with the muscles, the vaginal muscles, the pubococcygeal muscle. I just like to fiddle around with all kinds of muscle movement. And one of the ones that I like to do is to create a wave effect inside of my vagina, which is a lot of fun. So as I breathe, it kind of moves up and through my vagina like a wave. And then when I let go, it goes out like a wave. So that's just something that you can play with. That is not a standard Kegel. A standard Kegel is a flex and a let go. But by all means, see what your body enjoys. I like wave movements, so I let my body do that. And part of the visualization of asking your body what it would like to visualize, to know what turns it on. I love water, and that's one of the responses I have to it, is that my body gets super aroused. So that's pretty fun. And I'd like to take this a step further. And what is this about visualizing our futures? Well, what is that, right? Like people talk about doing, different visualization boards and vision boards and different ways to, I guess you could say that they're looking at how to create their future, right? So because this is a sex show, why not add sex to the mix? Why not add pleasure to the mix? This is truly a pleasure show. So let's add pleasure and sex and all of it to the mix, utilizing our bodies for the creation of our future. Well, doesn't that make sense? After all, our bodies are what we're creating our future for. Without our bodies, would we be creating anything for the future? Without our bodies, would you need to create money to pay for your home or your car or your food? Without a body, what would be your target in life? It would be very different, I'm thinking. So let's utilize our bodies in the creation and visualization and the vision type boarding that we're going to be doing tonight, which is not an actual board, but it will be an energy that you can use and you can change it. It's mutable. You can play with this a lot. So remembering the little things we were just doing with the breathing in and the breathing out, and remembering to allow your body to flex with the breath in and then let go with the breath out. Continue that breathing, circular breathing, allowing your body to connect the different areas and all the way from your perineum all the way to your crown. And for visualization or sensualization, for some people who don't identify well with visualizing, I ask that you just notice and sense how your body responds to different things. So what I do know is that a lot of times we don't even know what we would like to create with our lives. We have no idea. So as an example, the other day I was doing an online little party for my daughter's friends. We had a couple of kids Zoom in to have an online New Year's Eve party. And I like to do creation of the future things on New Year's Eve, just for fun. I hadn't done one for a while, but this year felt like a good year for it. So what I noticed is that a lot of times people go right for, oh, I want this and this and this, or they actually have no idea what they would like or where to begin with visualizing. So the one thing that I like to do first is start to allow your body to let go of everything that it does not desire having from any and all previous years or even future years, that because time is not linear, it's all lifetimes, time, space, dimension, and realities. Let's face it. I'll just refer to it as the past for now to simplify that for you. So how do you let go of the things from your past that might be impeding what you would like to create in your future, usually using a visualization, using a sexual visualization? Now, I didn't do this with children, but definitely that is something that could be added in future. But what we did do was let go of the past. So a few simple ways to do this is to write them down. And now, for the sake of keeping this in the context of pleasure, I would like you in this exercise to write down all the things that you find very displeasurable, the things that maybe in your life have put, you know, put a little brick in the wall that would stop you from receiving pleasure. So, for example, in my life, one of the things that had occurred in my life was when I was 25, my body was violated, and that put a little brick in the wall. And then around the age of about 35, 37, maybe, just before I started doing this show, actually, I allowed my body to let go of the trauma. And that was an interesting experience. And my body continues to have reminders, but it does let go of trauma, and it does let go of the stories, and it does let go of all the things that it was holding on to. So if you feel like in this life right now that you are holding on to some kind of traumas that are impairing you from having the pleasure you desire, please put that on your list. Now, this list is for you and you alone. You're more than welcome to share it with people, but I really encourage you to write the list, either rip it up or burn it up, and allow your body to just let go. And sometimes the funny thing is when you start to write it and get it out of your head and onto paper, or move it through your body in different ways like movement, you'll find that it just seems to move out easier. So what are some things that might be impeding your pleasure? Now, you may have been in relationships that you struggled with. You may have had different health circumstances. You may have had all kinds of circumstances in your life that would impede in your pleasure. So write them down, every single one of them. You can pause this recording right now while you finish writing everything down, and you can come back to it when you're ready. So, assuming that you've already done that, you've written down everything that needs to be written down so that you can let go of it, we're going to move to the next part of this, which is to start to look at what would you like to create? What would you like to create in your future that would create the greatest pleasure for you? Now, the funny thing about pleasure is pleasure equals joy, joy equals money, joy equals health, joy equals a lot of things that you're probably looking for. And pleasure and joy are pretty interchangeable. So we're going to create a pleasure list for the new year. And what would you like on your pleasure list? Maybe your pleasure list has a lot of things that are possibly the exact opposite of what you just let go of. They are possibly things like maybe in your future you would like to have very kind, loving, relationships that are honoring to you, your body, your lover and their body, or lovers and their bodies. So if that's the case, that would be very different than abuse, right? So write down the things, and I like to start with some of those that are the exact opposite of the things that I just let go of. Not because, polarity exists or is, pretty much what compels us to be around. It tends to be, though, an energy of something that we're seeking is usually something that is the opposite of what we are trying to let go of sometimes. So try that. Try that. If you can't think of something, try the exact opposite of what you are looking to let go of. So, like I was using the comparison of, there's abuse in your life, then maybe the exact opposite would be kindness, caring, and being honoring of your body and their body and each other's bodies. Yeah. So that's kind of an oppositional energy. And we're not looking to create polarity or create any issue with that. We're just looking to acknowledge what we would like compared to what we wouldn't like. So during this next commercial, I encourage you to write down all of the things. Write them down, draw them out, think about them, have them in your awareness, however you'd like to do this, and just have them there. So we're going to be heading to our next commercial break. I'd like you to have your list ready. And when we come back, we're going to be doing some fun things with that, okay? So go off, get that ready. And if you're not done by the end of this commercial, just put it on pause, finish your list, and then join me at the end of the commercial. So you're listening to The Pleasure Zone here on Inspired Choices Network, and we'll be right back after this commercial.
Are you secretly a voyeur, wondering what's going on in other people's sex lives? What if now is the time for a totally different sexual evolution? Are you interested in people who are pioneers of different sexual and pleasurable practices? Lean in now with Milica Jelenic, where she will entice you and your body to know your own pleasure zone. On the Pleasure Zone radio show with sensual movement artist Milica Jelenic, you'll receive tools, inspiration, and a foundation to allow yourself to receive more in your sex life, and quite possibly other areas of your life as well. Listen for the Pleasure Zone with Milica every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Interested in masturbating for money, copulating for consciousness, and pleasuring on purpose? 21 Days of Sexual Magicism with sensual movement artist Milica Jelenic is an exploration of tools, processes, and actions that you can use to create more for your life, your body, your money inflows, and so much more. Graduated learning for all levels of interest. Learn at your own pace via video classes or join the yearly live class. Take a peek at www.milicajelenic.com.
This is the Pleasure Zone with sensual movement artist Milica Jelenic. To participate in the program today, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email, info@milicajelenic.com. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, my sweet, sweet pleasure seekers. So I'm hoping that you had some fun creating your pleasure list for the new year, what it would be like to allow yourself to receive all of those things on your pleasure list. Well, that's what we're going to be working on, actually. So have your list ready. And if you don't, remember, put this on pause and go make your list and then come back. So I'm going to assume that you have your list ready. And from here, what we're going to do is a few things. So the very first one is I'm just going to get down and dirty with your list, because why not? Okay, so how are we going to do this? So first things first, you're going to get your breathing going. So breathing in through your nose, allowing your body to flex your pubococcygeal muscle, your pelvic floor muscle, so that you're feeling like you're flexing your genitals. If you have a vagina, then you're flexing it. If you have a penis, you're flexing it. And you're just going to breathe in and flex. And then you're going to breathe out and let go. Breathe in, flex, breathe out, let go. You have that breathing in, flexing, breathing out, letting go. I'd like you to get that list. And the first thing we're going to do with it is you're actually going to sit on it. Yep. You're going to put it, if you're lying down, you can put it between your legs. If you are sitting, put it under where you are sitting so that your genitals are in contact with the paper. Yes, you can do this naked. This is all your choice. In fact, how fun is it to do it naked and get some of your love juices on this? So I want you to have your body feeling and sensing what's it like to literally be sitting on everything that you could have. You're sitting right on it. You are sitting on all your desires. You are sitting on all of your pleasure possibilities. You are sitting on these things. They're right there. They're not only are they there, they're there. They're right there. You can have them because they're right there. Your genitals are kissing them essentially right there. And as you breathe in, I'd like your body to breathe in the first thing on the list. And receive it. And as you breathe out, your body doesn't let go of that, but it starts to integrate it. And so breathing in to the next thing on the list. With the breath out, allow your body to integrate that. And breathing in the third. And allow your body to integrate that. And the fourth. Breathing in. And on the breath out, allow your body to integrate that into every cell of your being. Know that with every breath in, you're integrating your list. And with every breath out, you're also integrating your list. You're breathing it in, breathing in that energy, becoming familiar with it, breathing out and integrating it into every cell and molecule of your being. As your being begins to expand and expand and expand, filling up with all the pleasure, desires you're asking for. And as you're breathing in, allow your body to know what it is to feel, to smell, to taste, to hear, to touch. Using all of your senses, allow your body to know what it's like to sense all of these different asks that you have on your list. Sitting on that, allowing your body to connect with that fully, allowing your genitals to fully experience and touch that. And now, I'd like you to continue with your list, and you can keep it where it is, or you can put it on top of you. Now I would like you to slowly start to touch your genitals. Stroke your cock, stroke your clit. If you prefer to put your fingers inside your vagina, begin to do that. I would like you to know what the energy of having all of these pleasure desires, all these pleasure asks on your list. I would like you and your body to know what it's like to have an orgasm in the presence of all of your pleasure desires. To have an orgasm that is instigated and initiated by all of your pleasure desires. Breathing in and allowing your body to flex, and breathing out and allowing your body to integrate all of those pleasure desires on your list. Continue to breathe that in, that energy coming from the entire universe, going through your list into your body, as you stroke your body, allowing your body to feel more and more welled up, to feel more and more filled up, more and more expanded, more and more turned on, and allowing your body to become fully aroused, fully aroused. You may feel like touching other parts of your body while you do this to bring your body to a greater heightened sense of arousal, remembering to breathe in while you masturbate. Just breathe in and allow your body to sense and know all of these desires are possible. And with your breath out, expanding your being and receiving everything that is available that you would like to receive on that list, that you know is on that list, that you know exists, that you know is yours to receive, that you know turns your body on, that you know creates pleasure. Allow your body to relax into having more and more arousal. Keeping your stroke at a relatively slow pace, even if it feels like torture. Just allowing yourself to be turned on even more and allowing your body to receive even more. Even if you feel like coming, just wait. Let your body be fully aroused from the tips of your toes to the top of your head. Fully aroused and fully relaxed. Continue to stimulate yourself, stroking, penetrating, and bringing the energy up even more, even more. Now you're right on there. And allow your body to release. Ready. Just know that that paper will become even more magnificent and more magical if you actually put your cum on it. So you can do that. You can put your cum on your list. Let your body know and integrate that list. Your cum is like magic, and it is life-giving. It is orgasmic energy in the embodiment of a fluid. And that fluid as an orgasmic energy is life-giving energy. Let it begin to create with you. And allow your body to know that everything that you just created, that you just asked for, is showing up in ways that you never even imagined possible. Even if your ask seems totally obscure and totally insane, your body knows that this is possible. And you can take your awesome, beautiful, cum-filled paper. You can keep it if you like. You can slap it on a mirror and look at it every day, because I bet your cum's going to make it stick. You can take it and you can burn it if you want. That energy is there, and when you do burn it, it will just go up and be released to the universe. The universe will take care of that. You can bury it, you can keep it, you can give it to a friend. It's up to you. That paper is yours to do what you like with it. So allow your body now to just continue to sense and know what it's like to be in this orgasmic state of receiving all of this pleasure and all of these possibilities that you never even knew you could have. Let your body know what that feels like. Your body is a sensorial organism. It has many senses, and the more senses it gets to utilize, the happier it is. So I invite you to utilize all of these senses in creation at all times. So now that you have your list, I hope you enjoy that. We're going to do another little fun play after this next commercial break. You're listening to The Pleasure Zone here on Inspired Choices Network, and we'll be right back after this commercial.
Are you secretly a voyeur, wondering what's going on in other people's sex lives? What if now is the time for a totally different sexual evolution? Are you interested in people who are pioneers of different sexual and pleasurable practices? Lean in now with Milica Jelenic, where she will entice you and your body to know your own pleasure zone. On the Pleasure Zone radio show with sensual movement artist Milica Jelenic, you'll receive tools, inspiration, and a foundation to allow yourself to receive more in your sex life, and quite possibly other areas of your life as well. Listen for The Pleasure Zone with Milica every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. This is The Pleasure Zone with sensual movement artist Milica Jelenic. To participate in the program today, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email. info@MilicaJelenic.com. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back to the Pleasure Zone, my sweet, sweet pleasure seekers. Tonight, we have been talking about visualizations and creating more pleasure and how we can do that and how we can play with that. We went from the very beginning of this podcast, this radio show. We started off with the simple breathing exercise to engage your Kegel muscles, to engage your, get that Kegel exercise going, engage your pubococcygeal muscle. Then we developed that a little bit more, and we started to find different ways to become aroused with that, finding out what you do desire and what you don't desire, and becoming clear on that. And these are some of the simplest tools I have on that. There are more advanced ones as well, of course. There's always different levels of tools going on. And the last one that we did was adding a little masturbation to the creation and adding your love juices to that list to add your orgasmic energy directly onto that list. How delicious. So now, just for fun, we're going to do another simplified sort of variation, but simple but fun. And also, it includes a friend, or two, or three, or four, or however many friends you would like to do this with. So you can just know you can do this with a friend in person if you want, friend, lover, whatever works for you. You can do it with many friends if you want to have a masturbation circle. You can do it with as many people or as few people as you like. On this one, though, this one really is about bringing in other people and bringing in other people's energy to contribute to your visualization and your creation. And so for this one, go find that friend. Okay, I'm going to assume you found your friend and now you're headed back to hang out with me so the two of you can listen to this together. You can do this with a friend even if it's someone who is like your BFF, but you want to do a creation call with them, and at the same time, maybe you don't want to watch them masturbate. You can get on Zoom, take the video off, and just be present with each other. That in itself may be intimidating enough. However, you might be that one step further and ready to masturbate in front of your friend. And good on you if you are. Congratulations for your openness. So whatever the situation, I'm inviting you to bring somebody in so that it's you and another. Why? Because there's a theory behind creation that if two or more agree to something, it exists. Well, I think that that's also true for anything that we are looking to have show up in our lives. So, similar to the past one that we're doing, you're going to have your list, maybe a new list that you've created. You may have a few things available. So just have your list. This is going to be one where you're going to share it with a friend. This is going to be a quick variation because I've only got a few minutes left. So have your friend, have your list. Remember to do the breathing in, engaging your pubococcygeal muscle, breathing out. And you already know what the energy of bringing in your visualizations for the future, for your pleasure, feels like. So now what you're going to do is you're going to ask to either see your friend's list or have them tell you their list. And with everything that they're asking for, I'd like you to be masturbating while they talk to you about this. And while they do, remember to allow your body to be turned on by everything and anything in this case. And while you're breathing in, you are going to be bringing in energy through the entire universe, through to the things they're asking for, through your body, and then out, and then back through. That energy is going to feed back through you to them. It's going to circulate so that everything they're asking for, the energy is going to circulate around, and it's going to go back to them to contribute to the creation of their asks, and vice versa. For everything you're asking for, let your friend know and let that energy go and circulate through, around and around. And you can do this together. You can do this while you're listening to each other on the phone or video or whatever, or in person. If you're daring and you have a friend or a lover, you'd like to do this in person, that's amazing. And contribute to this. You can do this every day while you masturbate. Your masturbations can be for creation. You can visualize the energy too without masturbating. You can visualize the energy going into your body, entering through your genitals, and then going up and out your head, and then coming back down, circulating into your body, allowing your body to have that be integrated. So there is a longer talk out version for that one. Maybe I'll do something on that another day. That's just giving you a little hint, a little tip tool that you can start to play with, that is with groups. Again, if you are working with more than one group, then it would be the whole group working with one person at a time. So for example, if I had an ask, I would tell the whole group and they would masturbate for my asks, and then everybody would masturbate for somebody else's asks. Doesn't that sound delightful? Now, if that sounds extraordinary delightful to you, please private message me, because how fun would it be to have a group of people doing this for each other, whether we are live on video or whether we are not showing videos but present for each other on audio. Sounds fun. Please let me know if that's something that tantalizes you, tickles you, gets you excited, and has you think, that sounds strangely fun. That sounds like something on my ask list. That sounds like something I'd love to do. I think that would be delightful. If I have enough people who say yes to this, I'd be willing to do this for up to 10 people. For the first 10 people who actually contact me and say, I'm interested in your meditation masturbation group, let me know. I will even create an audio for you. But you have to be one of the first 10. Everybody after that is going to be somebody who will be paying for that as a paid product. So just know that. I want to thank all of you for listening, because you're freaking awesome. And the fact that you went through this call and you did all of this magic for creating your life, you're amazing. And remember that even these things can be for health. They can be for, you name it, money, love, all of it. It's all on your list. So remember to always look at your list and stay tuned in and turned on till next week. Have a great week until then.
Thank you for listening to The Pleasure Zone with sensual movement artist Milica Jelenic. The Pleasure Zone returns next Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, have the best week of your life by choosing to be turned on and tuned in to your body.